If you want to model power transmissions, you should try Romax. Romax is a suite of tools for modeling components like gears, rolling element bearings, and electric motors, so you can see how a change to one part affects the system as a whole. Romax is used extensively in the aerospace and automotive industries, as well as the wind turbine industry, but you might even own a drill that was designed with Romax. Romax is ideal for those who design multi-speed transmissions or design their own gears, bearings, or electric motors. But if you're like me and you're more likely to buy gears from the catalog, you may still find it helpful. And if you're a student or professor, why not try Romax? It's free for you. One Romax tool, Concept, is available as a free student edition. Other Romax tools are available for free to student competition teams, such as Formula SAE. This video is part of a series on how engineering students can get started learning simulation. In this video, I will tell you about how Romax is used in industry, how to spend your first hour with Romax, and how to learn more. Let's go! These are the 6 tools that make up the Romax suite. Romax Enduro, Spectrum, and Energy somewhat run in parallel, with Romax Enduro focusing on durability, Spectrum on noise, vibration, and harshness. Oh, and it's powered by Actron. And Romax Energy lets you account for energy losses. Romax Evolve is for designers of electric machines, and it can interface with eMag software. Romax Spin is for bearing designers, and that brings us to Romax Concept, the topic for the rest of the video. The Romax Student Edition that we have is for Romax Concept. Romax Concept is used by concept designers, people early in the process who need to consider many possible options and evaluate them quickly for feasibility. The analysis that they do in Romax Concept lets them pass vetted designs along to analysts who would then put in more work to suss out the details with other Romax tools, like Enduro, Spectrum, or Energy. Romax occupies an interesting niche in engineering software. Many people who pick gears use either basic gear software or even just spreadsheets. With that software, you're limited in your ability to address systems. You also are limited in the sophistication of your calculations. On the other end of the spectrum, you could put in a lot of work on making a generic finite element or multi-body dynamic model of power transmission components. Unfortunately, it's hard for real-world factors to be built into those models. Building such models can also be very tedious and difficult. Romax uses a great combination of real-world know-how and streamlined simulation tools so that you can easily come up with a good system design. And actually, because of the ways in which Romax streamlines the process and adds the right amount of depth, it's able to let you think about power transmission systems in a very rich way. That's important because a change to any one part of the system could make any other part suffer in some way that would be really hard to anticipate. I want to highlight something else about how Romax works. It generally lets you represent components with different levels of fidelity. For example, we could represent gears simply as a pair of discs that are touching, or as toothed wheels, or after we figure out how we're going to machine the gears, we can even account for the shape of the machining tools in the gear geometries and see what effect that has using the same analytic tools that we would have used in earlier steps. So, as you learn more about your design, you can simulate more, but you're using basically the same interface throughout. I'll be highlighting this in the demo that's coming up next. I'm going to show you how to set up a 2-stage gear reduction and size the gears and bearings. It's really easy. I'll go to Shaft Tools, and I can add a shaft. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to get the next shaft placed where I want it to be. That looks about right, and I'll put one more shaft here. I can adjust the shaft center distances from this end view here, and I want to get the distance between the counter shaft and the output shaft to be 130 millimeters. And I should say this is going to be my input, counter, and output shaft. Next, let's lay out the gears. I click Gear Tools and pick Add Spur Helical Gear. And then I just click roughly where I want the gears to go on the shafts. I can right-click to clear selection of a tool. Now under Gear Tools, I can click Mesh Align Gears. That tells Romax to mesh this gear with this gear, and this gear with this gear. I find it helpful to click first on the input gear, the pinion, and then on the wheel. Directly from this view, I can modify gear ratios. For this design, I want a more aggressive reduction on the first stage and a less aggressive reduction on the second stage. I can simply double-click on this number, type in the new value, 2.08, and hit enter. Next, we need to do a loading analysis to figure out, well, what are the forces between these gears? To do that, we need to know what power is flowing through the system. I go to Loading Tools and use Add Power Load. I'll click here on shaft 1 as my input and here on shaft 3 as my output. I'm going to create a load case. Now this loading panel is already open for me. This arrow controls its visibility. I click this button to create a load case, and I select the input load and the output load. Now, if I accidentally click on the shaft, I'll get a warning like that. So I need to be careful to precisely click on the load itself. Now I go to Edit Load Case. For this design, I want this system to last for 200 hours at a speed of 2500 RPM, carrying an input power of 2.5 kilowatts. I will click Run Torsional Only Analysis. Torsional Only Analysis gives the torques on each shaft in the system. Advanced Analysis gives loads. It requires us to specify the locations of stiffness bearings and is needed for bearing sizing. When we get to bearing sizing, the Advanced Analysis will automatically run. Now I will save my changes. Romax automatically calculates the torque and the output parameters. I click OK. Now I have enough information to size the gears. I will double-click on this gear, which actually selects the gear pair. If I wanted a different pressure angle, I could set it here, and for helical gears, you simply set the helix angle to something that's non-zero. You can define the gear ratio in terms of either the input or output gear by using these drop-downs, and we'll need these boxes to set the face width. These tabs here control what I can see, and these tabs let me control the level of detail that I'm designing at. Right now, I'm dealing with a loading design. The gears right now are simply discs. When I enter the concept design stage, I can enter tooth numbers, which is sufficient for gear rating. After that, I could go into the detailed design and control the gear shape based on things like the machining processes that I would use. Those features are only available in the commercial version, though. Let's go back to concept design. I will enable module tooth numbers, so now my gears have teeth. I like to size my gears based on setting the secondary tooth number, so how many teeth are going on the pinion. I like to do at least 17. And here I can see the difference between the gear ratio that I requested and the actual one that I can obtain with these integer tooth counts. And if I wanted to, I could change the tooth numbers and have things recalculate. But really, I'm okay with the ratio that I got with 17 teeth. As I look through these viewer tabs here, I have a lot of information on these gears. For example, the module is calculated for me directly. And if you're someone who normally uses AGMA standards or designs gears in the United States, module is proportional to the reciprocal of diametral pitch. I can look at a 3D view of these gears, and I can look at the rating results. I click Update Rating to have that calculated. I can get a basic idea from the gear rating summary, and I see that these gears have acceptable ratings. However, as I scroll down, I see that I have contact safety factors that are just above 1. The bending safety factors are looking great, though. I can also go into the gear rating details and see the different parameters that were fed into the gear rating calculations. I want a more generous factor of safety than just above 1, so I will go back to loading design and set the face width from 20 to 50 millimeters. And now I click Update Rating. Let's go back to that summary, and I see that my contact factor of safety is now 1.6. That's a little better. I could keep iterating on this design. For example, I don't love the proportions of these gears, so another way that I could increase the factor of safety is to increase the center distance, which again I could do by exiting this view and modifying the end view. But I think this is enough to give you a basic idea of how we size gears in Romax Concept. I'll click OK to confirm this design. Now I want to select bearings, but for me to do that I need to define good bearing seats, and that's not going to work with the current shaft layout now that the gears are a little different in size. I can click on a shaft to modify it. Right now, the mouse cursor is white left and right arrows. That indicates that I can translate the shaft back and forth. I can click to clear that selection. Maybe I want to take this shaft and extend it. If the mouse cursor is now black left and white arrows, I can expand it. This gear is out of alignment with this gear. I'll go to Gear Tools, click Mesh Align Gears. Now I'll click this gear, and then it will align to the second gear that I select. I click Yes to complete that dialog box. Now I can approximately place bearings. I will click Mounting Tools, and Add Stiffness Bearing is the default tool here. And I'm just going to arbitrarily lay out 2 bearings per shaft. I click on the shaft, and then I click on this icon for grounding. A bearing always connects 2 things. Grounding represents connecting it to cases or supports, but you could also use bearings to connect 2 shafts. Currently, all of these bearings are simply what we call concept stiffness bearings. They allow us to determine reaction loads, but these are not yet real catalog bearings. They can model damping easily, though. It's very easy to go from stiffness bearings to real bearings by clicking Select Bearing. I will click Yes, and Yes to run an analysis. For simplicity, let's go with radial ball bearings, but you see that many different types of bearings are possible, and we can source them from many different suppliers. I'm going to focus on SKF because that's what I'm the most familiar with. I could pick bearings that fit within different minimum and maximum windows for dimensions and for the dynamic load rating. But I'm going to pick one based just on the dynamic load rating. And I click Apply Filters, and a 16002 bearing looks like it will work great for me. You see how I didn't have to manually calculate the dynamic load rating? And I didn't have to dig through a catalog to find the number. Now I click OK, and we have a dimensionally accurate bearing represented here. Let's go to the 3D model and see what this design looks like so far. I already have a cut view set up. You can modify those with 3D view settings. And I'm going to rotate by using the Control key and clicking and dragging with the middle mouse button. This is a great example of how Romax Concept lets us represent components with increasing levels of fidelity as we go through the design process. So these gears were not yet fully designed. They're simply represented as discs, but these gears that I did do rating on have teeth. Most of these bearings are showing up as just having these triangular cross sections, but I can see the balls in the bearing here that I already selected. Let's go back to the 2D view. Now that you see how easy it is to tinker with Romax Concept, you might want to just open it up and explore its capabilities. You're welcome to do so. If you look at Gear Tools, you see that we could do bevel or worm gears. There's also various types of planetary gear sets. Under Coupling Tools, we can do things like belts and chains. And under Mounting Tools, we can add clutches and synchronizers. We could just quickly put these in our view to make rough preliminary designs. If I want to know about how Romax represents, say, this chain drive, I can double-click on it. And now I'm in the chain coupling editor. I can click this button or press F1 to access help. So it's easy to get help on the fly for whatever feature you're dealing with. You can also access help with this button or pressing F1 when you're in the main view. The Romax Concept Help is comprehensive. One place where you can get some big picture ideas is under 2D modeling, hints and tips for 2D modeling. If you want to tinker, you should at least read this. There's information on example models here and tutorials here. Now, the tutorials for the student edition do not operate with the tutorials for the commercial release, so if you're using the student tutorials, make sure you use this link to get them. That link would take you to the page for Romax Concept Student Edition, and you may already actually have the tutorials because you really get them at the download center in the same place where you get Romax Concept itself. The Romax tutorials are a great way to learn Romax Concept in depth. Even the first one shows you a lot of the power of Romax, which I did not even get to in the demo that I showed earlier. Here we see a 5-speed gearbox with speeds controllable by clutching and unclutching various gear pairs. We also see that the shafts in this gearbox are in a 3D, not planar layout. The tutorials include all of the background knowledge and step-by-step instructions that you need to become a proficient modeler in Romax. And if you want a quick idea of the depth of Romax's capabilities, you can simply open the example models. Let me show you a cool example. This is from the 7th tutorial on driveline simulation. I can pick between different load cases here, and you see how the power flow, shown as green lines, varies depending on which elements are clutched to which. I can also see a 3D model of this. You see that this model includes an engine, wheels, a differential, and a planetary gearbox. And I can see it rotating, and you see how different elements will rotate depending on which speed I'm in. So I've shown you how you can get started learning Romax Concept by tinkering with it using the help or working through tutorials. Now, if you need a more powerful Romax package, you can get that for free if you're on a student competition team, and that really would be the right tool for that kind of job. Last year and this year, we have run webinar series on how to use different software that we provide for Formula SAE and similar competitions, and we had webinars on Romax specifically. These focused on Romax Drivetrain. One webinar by Reese Jones shows how to use Romax Drivetrain for internal combustion design, and another webinar by Ginny Roberts shows design for electric powertrains using planetary gear sets. Both of those focus on the use of not Romax Concept, but Romax Drivetrain. Thanks for checking out Romax with me. I am so excited that Romax Concept is available as a student edition, so anyone in academia can use it for free. If you're a professor and you're not sure how to teach with Romax, I would suggest at least using it to generate animations, or to be able to help students visualize how a planetary gear set works. That's pretty thorny to wrap your mind around. If you do research with power transmissions, Romax would also be useful for that, and you could connect it with atoms or even Actran. Another thing that you might want to consider, if you're on a competition team, is using it to design your power transmission. You could use it for design of any kind of power transmission for a vehicle competition. We're seeing students make really great use of Romax in particular for design of planetary gear sets for electric vehicle powertrains. Now we have links on how to access all of this software in the description, and if you need expert help getting started with Romax, reach out and we'll make sure that you get the help you need. But because Romax is so easy, I don't think you need a lot of help. All right, have a great day. Bye.